show us your tips. Progress Racing, Daggy and Beaver with you to look towards two big cards from Flemington and Randwick. We've got Guineas days in both states. Beaver, what's going on?
Plenty going on, mate. Plenty of racing happening. Footy started back last night. Racing's happening. AFL's about to happen. Cricket's still going. Smorgasbord of sport, but racing's good. And the boys did quite well again on Wednesday.
Yeah, we did. Some bits and pieces throughout the afternoon, which was good. Helps pay for this. We've got some winners up, hopefully, coming from tonight at Pakenham. A couple yesterday as well. Beaver from wherever we were last night. Where were we yesterday? Where was your preview from?
It was from Pakenham last night.
Yeah.
My best bet got up, and so did my value bet. So beautiful. I was pretty happy about that.
And good day at Newcastle this Arvo as well. Crosstalk's heading there to hopefully pick up some cash as well. So all that to look forward to. But let's talk about Randwick first, shall we? Where we've got Randwick Guineas Day. The rail moves out 6 metres on a good track. Weather's good. All looks pretty, and no wind about. So all looks pretty good for standard Randwick. Not a bad card, actually, Beaver.
Not a bad card. I thought, again, unfortunately, a lot of fields, they're good races, but there looks to be a small number of chances in each race. Trying to find, while there could be an upset in those races, it's really hard to find and narrow down which of that more valued runner would be the one to knock them out. It's a bit of a lottery when the favourites, the 2 or 3 in the market, are getting beaten, trying to find which one it is that could win it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a guessing game.
Speaking of which, guessing games, it starts off over a mile with the midway. Capacity field. Do you like anything in the first?
No, I didn't really like anything here. It's sort of $5 the field. Pretty open race. If I was going to have a bet, I'd probably look for something around number 11, Casual Connection. Double figure odds. Third up, I thought it could run well, but nothing here that really takes my fancy, and I'm going to jump in early in the day. I'll save my money probably for later.
No probs. I went looking for something down in the weights. I was channeling you a little bit here, and of that, Casual Connection looked like the one there. But on top, I've ended up coming back up the top here to Navajo Peak. I thought it was a pretty good run there, leading up to, sitting outside lead first up in a much stronger race with Lindemann and Kokoro just beating it home. And last time won well, he's second up. Good form over the mile, so it all looks nice here. The last time it was here, in fact, just missed behind Mahagoni, who would probably start short here. All looks pretty good form for a race like this, around the $5 or $6 mark. Pretty happy to put it on top from Cheerful Legend, who's flying at the moment. Back to Randwick, our first time to Randwick and out to a mile looks to be in its favour as well. Both around an each way price. You can back them both, I think, to start the day, and that's the way I'll play there. We get a bit skinnier for a while after that, though, where we get to the Todman. It's been a few years in a row now. It's been a long time, actually, since this race has been any good. But some slipper hopes here. Short price favourite in Red Resistance. Is that the way you're looking?
That is the way I'm going. It is a small field here, but it looks to get control. And I think it looks to be the best horse in the race. Can't see too much pressure, to be honest. And it's probably just going to bolt along and sprint away and be too good with cylinder chasing.
Yep, on top, complete control, good horse. There's a couple who I think I've got an opinion of, Cafe Millennium, obviously, and I've still got an opinion of Militarized, but I feel like a Golden Slipper with a massive field and lots of pressure suits them, as opposed to here where Red Resistance is going to do it as it like. It'll win, I think, around the $8.80 mark, looks pretty good. I'm going to say the same when we get to the Reisling. Another 6-horse field, Group 2 for the fillies. And we've both had an opinion of learning to fly the whole way through. It hasn't let us down. It's going to come here. It'll beat this lot and go on to probably start quite well in the market in the slipper. But I couldn't make a case for anything here to beat it, at least of the Race Brigade. I did have a look at Mathkura's trials for Hawks. They were good. But I do think, and could well lead this field up. But clearly on top, learning to fly, Beaver.
Yeah, not much to add there, mate. Look, this horse is ultra impressive. Certainly, probably the main chance in the slipper and the horse to beat at the moment. So if that's going to remain the case, it's got to be winning this. So clear on top for me. I thought $1.70 was a pretty good price.
The fourth is the listed Randwick City Stakes over 2,000 metres. Solcombe second up back to a trial where it missed the start and didn't really do much to catch my eye. Is favourite. Is that the way you're leaning?
Yeah, look, pretty keen on Solcombe here tomorrow. I think it sets up quite nicely. The first up run wasn't overly impressive, but I think out to the 2,000 now, and this is not a strong field. I think, it was pretty leader dominated last start and had the 60 kgs, gets a little bit of relief there. And look, most of the horses down in the market here going pretty average and haven't won for a while. So if it's going to be a Melbourne Cup favourite or contender, it's got to be these horses, surely.
It does. I do have a concern of whether or not it's with us. As I mentioned, back to a trial and missed the start there. The one I went looking for, who took some nice natural improvement between its trials, and again, it did roll forward last time out in that trial, gets Nash, gets a lead here, and that's Sir Lucan, who comes off the Melbourne Cup as well. Around an $11 mark, I thought was worth having a stab at here, especially with the lack of pace. I think Nash goes forward. It'll be ready to go. Probably sits just off the stablemate Sacramento. But I couldn't get enthusiastic about much else here. I think Torrens runs well. It can run your race around 20-1 if I was going to throw one in. Maybe that means Sacramento gets lead and wins, but just haven't necessarily had an opinion of that either at the moment. So
no start since the 2021 Melbourne Cup.
That's true. Actually, that is true. But trials this time have been okay. I think it had an issue. Let's find out. Could well need several runs to be ready for spring. The fifth is the Fireball, 1,100 metres. Listed race here. Good race. What do you think?
Yeah, really good race here. I really like this race. It's an open field and gets to the first race on the day that's, really you could find a number of chances. I've gone for Dashing Legend. Right. I think this is a huge chance. I really loved the first up win at Canterbury. I know it was a midweeker, but there was plenty of pressure on up front. It sat outside and just whooshed past him. Thought that was a great run, carrying 58.5. So drops 4.5 kilos for that. Gate 10 probably means it's got to speed across and get a spot up on the pace. But I think this is a horse on the way up, and I think it can run well.
You probably know where I'm going here, but I think Troach is over the odds. I think it's trialled well off the one trial here. Inside gate will push forward for Tim Clark. And I think it gives you a sight around a 10-1 there. Scared of economics, as we discussed last week when it was safe for this, but has trialled well. Gets J-Mac, probably has to go back from there. And then there's a bunch I'd throw in that are sort of I had a similar opinion of, and I couldn't really split. Dashing Legend was one. Lady Lagoon's gone down to Melbourne, and even a horse like Midnight in Tokyo spent winter in Queensland, trialled well up there, comes back, and it was a nice win in Sydney last time it was in town. So so a few chances, but I'm going to have an each way on Troach in this one. The 6 is the Challenge Stakes, 1,000 metres, another cracking race where... again, I'll ask the question, is Eduardo with us this time in?
Well, I don't think I'd be diving in until I saw something. It wasn't really with us towards the end of last preparation. And, it is getting on in years, and this is racing against some really quality up-and-comers. And drawn gate 8. So I think it's going to be the sitting shot here, and for that reason, I can't tip it. I'd probably find the other 4 in the market better chances. That includes Giga Kick, Remark, Paul Hill, and Passive Aggressive. I've gone for Giga Kick. I just think it's probably the most progressive of all of these. Goes well first up. This distance hasn't been beaten, and the trial was pretty good behind Coolangatta, who has franked that trial form. So I've got Giga Kick on top, and my main danger, Passive Aggressive. Really like that horse and think it can run well, but the others aren't without a chance.
Yeah, no, I set out to find Remark here. had the blow, sat wide and was quite impressive. Drops in weight from there, had carried the big weight there for those that follow such things. But I end up with Giga Kick on top for all the reasons you've said. Just a good horse. Trolled was fantastic. That form all around, it looks pretty good. Obviously coming through an Everest, but even the form before that with Beyond Notches has looked good since then. And I got what I wanted from the trial. To beat Remark, who's now 3 from 4 since it's been gelded. Big, strong and brave, and will run well here. I think it's probably a passing of the torch. Eduardo loses. It's had wet tracks the last few preps fresh, and there's just some fresh blood here I'm keen to be with. So that's the way I've gone.
Yeah, I like your thinking with Remark, but what I was just a bit concerned about Remark was that it's still giving Giga Kick 2.5, and its last start win, while it was impressive, only beat Dragonstone.
Yeah,
and Dragonstone has been just around the mark at best, and is not up to nowhere near this quality. So I don't know if that's a bit flattering last start, but we'll soon see. Upping this company, it's the first time it's really taken on this type of company. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I could make and I could have made it. I didn't. The only one we didn't mention was Paul Ile, who very quite trial, but he can make a case for it as well.
Sure can.
The first of the features is the Group 1 Canterbury Stakes over 1,300 metres. And I am going to... We've got the Star Kiwi in town, Imperatriz. Odds on, in fact, but I'm taking it on. I'm sticking with Golden Mile. It came back first up and was well underdone. I think all the mounting hour judges reported it. Came back very much carrying a bit of condition. Lots of improvement from there. Gets Nash. I think takes up a reasonable position here too. Not a heap of pace up front. Can find a spot. And around $6, I'm going to back it. From Imperatriz, who could well be a star, but it's actually been a while apart from staying features we've seen the New Zealand sprint form really stack up. So I want to see it here first in the flesh. I suppose I wish I win's doing all right. And the one outside of that I thought was a nice resumption in what's been a good form race is Argentia. It's 40-1. And straight to a mile suits. I know it is in later, so if it runs later, it'd be very hard to beat. But we'll go into my quaddie, whichever way it is here. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I kind of went along the same lines as you. I think Imperatrix is a little bit short in the market. Odds on, obviously packed with plenty of potential, but it is New Zealand form, and we need to see that line up here. I think you're right with Golden Mile. It was underdone. It wasn't ready first up, and that race wasn't run to suit. There was no pace. It was a joggy trot, and Miramia could explode away from him, and just was going too quick at the time. Everything didn't really fall into place for Golden Mile. I think it'll be much fitter here. This will be a much more suitable race, and it's $6.50. Not sure you'll get that price too many times, Golden Mile. So I'm willing to take that on the basis that it's as good as the favourite.
Beautiful. The second of the...
I think Cascadian can, just before you move on, I think Cascadian can run a nice race first up as well at $15, just depending on pace here. But it has an outstanding finish and is a Group 1 winner.
Definitely. We've both gone around Artorias. Just want to see it actually jump and do something in Australia again first, or
100%.
Yeah. The other feature is the mile for the 3-year-olds, the Group 1 Randwick Guineas. We've seen most of this field twice, and I am going to stick with, well, I don't know if it's a tragedy beaten, but this the favourite last start half cabin. I'm sticking solid. It was slightly slow away, kicked up. I don't know what the plan was after that, was to sit wide and on the pace, and it was actually quite brave holding on there late. Just run over at the death. Gets J-Mac back on. A few scratchings out means it's going to probably find a comfy enough spot here. I think it's the best horse. I think it wins this one and rights those wrongs from last time. Anything to add? Yeah,
horrendous ride last start. Sat outside the lead, given no chance. And as you said, was still brave enough. No Tim Clark aboard here, which is a huge plus to get McDonald, gate 9. Hopefully get some cover here. If this horse gets cover, it'll be winning this race. Don't worry about the last start, and you get the reasonable odds now as well. $2.60, $2.70 at the moment. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Hopefully it's pretty good after race 2 when it wins. The 9th is the 1600 metre Merson Cooper Quality for the girls, Group 3. And I'm with the market here as well. Roots on top, and clearly that was a nice resumption. We suggested it'd probably run well in that race. It did. J-Mac inside gate should sit closer. It should explode away and have these covered. We've got a lot of resuming stayers and a lot of horses not going that well on top. And clearly Bellatrix Black's going to Newcastle today too. Otherwise I would have probably had it at the danger. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. Roots is clearly the on top pick here. Probably start around even money, I think. Gate 2 is perfect. The only thing that can beat it here is bad luck in running, I think. Looks to be a natural improver, and a lot to like about that first up run. This is pretty much a midweek field.
Definitely. We wrap up with a similar story in the last, the Wenona Girl Quality, a Group 3, 1,200 metres, with pretty much a midweek field. How are you finishing today?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pokari Curry. Been good this time in, won 2 of its 3 starts, and I think this sets up quite nicely. It's drawn well in the 8. 53 kilos is a good weight for it. Won with that on its back last start in the Group 3. 1200's perfect, draws perfect, and I think it can run extremely well again. Main danger, probably the same horse that it beat last start, Jump the Broom.
Yeah, I'm going for some fresh blood. I'm going with Sky Command, I think, and purely off a map basis. I just don't know where the rest of the pace is in this race, and off some nice trials, comes here, gets control of this race, and will be hardest to beat. Pokari Kari is the horse I'm scared of, for all the reasons you've covered. Been good to us this prep, and he's flying. So they're the main 2, and just to confirm, Argentia is going to the feature. So, yeah, they're the main 2 for me. We've got a Randwick Quality to talk about, though. Let's start with the first leg, which I will throw Cascadian, as suggested by you, number 1. Number 8, Imperatriz. Number 10, Argentia. Number 11, Golden Mile. Second leg, 3 Osipenko, 2 Osipenko, 3 Aft Cabin, 9 Lindemann. I had several looks at Cut on a Dime, but we'll just play safe there. 2 Roots comes up next. In the third leg from... That'll do us. We'll go 1 out. And we'll come home with 2 Sky Command, 1 Promise of Success, 2 Sky Command, 9 Pokari Curry, and 10 Jump the Broom. Have you got a best in value at Randwick for us for progretracing.com.au?
I do. I've got 4 or 5 good tips here, but my best on the day is race 9, number 2, Roots. I think it can win. And my value bet is race 7, number 11, Golden Mile.
I'm going to make my best race 3, number 1, Learning to Fly. I think $1.80 is still a nice price. And my value, I sort of agree with Golden Mile, actually. Race 7, number 11, Golden Mile. And maybe something small on the gay resumer there off the year off. But, yeah, Golden Mile. Value. Flemington's the supporting card with, the other card for offend any Melbourneites. Down south, we've got the rail moving into the 2 metre position on a good track and a very nice card to bet into. We kick off with the Furphy Trophy, which is a listed race for the 2-year-olds. And I'm going to go with the... Actually, you talk, because I've just noticed my top pick scratched. What do you like?
That's a shame for you, mate. I'm going to go with number 3, Butch Cassidy. How can you not back Butch Cassidy? That's just the perfect name. But no, it's gone all right at the trials, and thought it was pretty impressive at Randwick. Goes down south here for first up tilt and can run well. Yeah,
on top for me as well now. Yeah, just because of the name, Beaver. Also trialled well and will roll forward, and the Waterhouse stable is absolutely flying with these horses. So on top from Masira, who has trialled well, and you know what you're going to get from a Godolphin black-type debutant at 2-year-old race. The second is the 2,500 metre quality handicap, where I'm sticking with the favourite here. So Unusual is just flying this prep. Going really well. Inside gates, going to get a cosy run. All things being equal, gets out and wins again, I think. And, yeah, main danger for me, Midnight Blue, second up, quick backup. from having a blow up behind right you are, but yeah, pretty easy to find here and so unusual. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's certainly the hardest to beat, but I'm going to put You Spirit on top again from the Waterhouse Bot stable. Third up here, progressing nicely in this preparation, gets out to the 2500. I think you can run a bold race, and there's improvement there. So I got it on top, but yeah, So Unusual is certainly the hardest to beat.
Beautiful. You've come round to the Waterhouse stable lately. It's good.
No, mate, I do it painstakingly, but there we go.
She can train horses. I don't know if you've noticed that. So can Adrian,
Yes.
but that's another story. 1,000 metres up next. This sprint race comes up next, and I am sticking with the Flying on the lead. Inside gate's probably my only concern here, but I assume they'll just waddle into the middle of the track. Blake Shin, last two starts have been great over the 1,000, beating what I'm told is a good one in Inundation, and then just missing behind Star Patrol, who would easily start favourite here. I think is quite easy to find. This isn't a strong race. Scared of Kalos. Trial was good. Gets Jamie Carr, and he's a previous winner up the straight. Yeah, they're the main two. Market suggests that, but pretty easy to find for me. What do you think?
And I'll go for Memoragram.
Sticking, okay.
Yeah, its first up win was outstanding, and it should have won last start. Had no luck, got held up. Was an outstanding run. Gets 6 kilos off that run. I think gate 8's pretty good. I think it can have to sit on these, and depending how the track plays, but I've got it on top. But yeah, certainly on the lead, has some good lead-up form prior to this, so could save on that. But that's the way I'm going in this race 3, number 6.
The fourth again over the 1,000. This time for the 3-year-old fillies. Good little race again. What do you think?
Yeah, look, this is a good little race, and certainly quite a tricky affair here. Found it quite hard to line all of these up. Plenty of chances. I went for a bit of value. Little Miss Kubi.
Right. Yeah.
It's flying at the moment. Really like hit perfect preparation last start, and was a really good win coming down the middle of the track. Ran over the top of them. I expect to get a similar run here. Gate 7 is pretty good. Can finish on quite well. With my main danger being the resuming number 5 Winner Takes It All. I think it can run well as well, but you could pick 7 or 8 in this and still miss out.
Yeah. The honorary mentions, I was going to make a Winner Takes All, Lady Laguna, Wild Bell. I'm going with blue colours here. I like the resumption of Ojai in that race. Second up here, I think in a race of not a heap of pace around it. Hopefully gets a comfy run just behind a couple of the quicker ones, and gives you sight. And I'm forgiving Bistro, who is the other pace in the race. They've got a claim here as well, but pulled up lame put up lame that time at Moonee Valley when we were keen on it. Give it another chance. So going to cover both of them as my best results here. But tricky race, as you said. The fifth is a Sweps Plate, benchmark 84, where I am going to put on top Munimek. Flying, going really well at the moment. Clear Air, I think it probably nearly beat Scolopini last time. If you go back and watch that race, it just got held up right up the straight. Exploded when it finally got out to the mile should suit. Still needs to get a win at that, but it's run well here since, over the distance I should say. But on top for me, and I'm going to give Sparkle one more chance, just given it was sat 3 wide outside lead last time, was never going to be a chance in that race. Comes here, sets up a bit better. So going to play around those two. Yeah, had enough of Kettle Hill. What about you?
I'm going the same way. I think this is Munimek's race to finally break through. Last couple of starts have been outstanding. Even before that was going quite well. This is probably its best chance to break through here. If it doesn't win this, it'll be dead to me. You're right, Kettle Hill's had plenty of chances this time in, probably unders. And yeah, I think Munimek's a pretty good price at the moment.
Beauty, I agree. The Inglis Sprint is up next. 1,200 metre for the Inglis horses. How's this for a field, Beaver? Who do you like?
Oh, how hard is this? This is one of the hardest races I've ever had to do the form for. So tricky. I'm going to stick with number 18 from gate 18, Benedetta.
Yep.
Flying at the moment, it's going really well. Look, I think coming down the outside fence could be a really good opportunity for it here to get the right run, sitting shot. I think it's going to be hardest to beat, but there's plenty of other chances. Opal Ridge is a good quality horse resuming here. It'll run well, but there's certainly some other horses that can run well as well. Running by, I think it's resuming, can go well, showed some good form, and even Citizenship. It's been good. Its first 2 runs in Sydney, and a few other Sydney horses are down there as well. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's the best version of this race they've trotted out. They're generally not strong affairs, these Inglis restricted races. We know a lot of these well. I've had an opinion of this horse since day one. I'm sticking with it, Brudenell. I love that win at Canterbury. I know it was had every favour on the rails at Canterbury, but it was a demolition job. And I think it's quality horse. They've gone and found Damien Oliver for it, and around the $16 it opened at. I'm going to stick with it. From Benedetta, you mentioned, flying, going well, probably the right gate. And Nanagui did some good stuff in last time. Trials have been good. Double figures for the Moody yard, which is going very well at the moment. All around double figures. I'm going to cover all 3 each way. Could well have missed the winner there. There's a couple others, like Scythera, resumed well enough for me off a long break. But good race. Got to take the odds in your favour. I'm going to stick with Brudenell. Nothing else to add? Just looking at me funny.
Nothing else to add, Matt?
Cool.
Nothing else to add.
All right. The other feature mile is the Australian Guineas, Group 1 level, where Jacquinot leads the market. Is there a concern over the mile, and is there a concern in this race for it?
Oh, look, I wouldn't think there's too much of a concern over the mile. I think the way it's hit the line last start, and I think it was still going pretty good on the line. That was a Group 1 race against some pretty good company, Gentleman Roy and many others. Hard to go past those form lines.
Yep.
I think that was pretty good. That was pretty good quality for a race like this. But there's many other chances. I still think Attrition is a huge chance in this race. That's certainly my knockout horse. Got well out of its ground last start and had too much to do in the run home over the 1400. I think it'll be suited by the extra distance. And I certainly think it can run well. Hopefully it's a little bit closer here. I think it just got too far back. I think it was pretty close to sort of third last start and just gave him too much start. I think here probably can sit a bit closer, gate 7. And if Jacquinot doesn't run out the distance, Attrition will be the hardest to beat.
Cool. I've gone away from both. You talked me around it last time, but I'm sticking with Elliptical. I really like that win. That was a pretty impressive win comes here. I just feel like the mile's going to suit it better. Blake Shin inside gate should be sitting closer. We've seen it when it just missed behind Sharp and Smart, be able to ride the pace. Going to have it on top from Jacquinot, who could well blow him away. Might be best horse. Just doesn't feel like a complete miler to me. You've mentioned Attrition, and I'll throw Virtuous Circle into my quaddie just because I can. But Elliptical on top for me. The Blamey over the mile is up next, Group 3, where I am... I'm saying there's 2 chances. Poor old Gentleman Roy deserves another win here after having a Group 1 taken off it last time, but gets a similar setup where it gets control again. Mark Zara's going to roll along under his own pace, perhaps even at a more leisurely tempo, and be very hard to beat. I think it's on top clearly from Uncle Bryn, who just never ever got a crack at them first time, flies at the mile, and will be better for that. And the same as Banker's Choice, second up mile suits as well. But hopefully Gentleman Roy's day for another group race for it, Beaver.
Yeah, it looks that way here, doesn't it? It should have no problems handled the 1600 metres. Clearly on top here. It was run last start, was outstanding. I think it probably gets similar control, doesn't it?
Pretty much.
And proves hardest to beat. I thought Pounding's going well enough to run a race here.
Absolutely.
If the pace is on, I think it gets last shot at these. And the way it's going at the moment, it just keeps progressing through the grades quite nicely. Gate 10 suits the long Flemington straight. If it can sort of get 1 out, 2 back, type running line here. Gentleman Royal need to run out a strong 1600 to hold pounding out, so I wouldn't be letting it get under your guard.
We wrap up the day with a 1200 metre bench, mark 90. We're going up the straight to finish off. I'm scared of the favourite, has been impressive here, but I'm looking a little bit at some fresh blood. Life Lessons resuming off the shorts break, did some good stuff last time. Comes back here, I think runs well fresh. And Pinstripes trials have been good. I think I have a thing for these colours, which is starting to cost me lots of money. But might be best horse. Did some good stuff in again last prep before finishing up in the Golden Eagle. And around the $8 mark, I think is worthwhile play here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, good race here. Just think Pinstripe might be a little bit too short here.
Yeah.
And not so sure down the straight. Obviously goes well this distance and does have great first up form, so you've got to be mindful of that. But this time it is carrying, does get the 3 kilo claim, which obviously helps. But a big weight to sprint fresh with might be a challenge. The jumbuck is just up and flying at the moment and hard to go past. Gate 6 is perfect. Track and distance 2 from 2. The last 2 have been outstanding. Stepped up to the benchmark 84 last start and handled it with ease. Never looked like getting beaten. Probably hit the front too early there and still beat him easy. I think it'll be winning again.
No, all fair commentary. Have you got your Flemington quaddy in order?
I do have my Flemington quaddy in order. Not an easy one.
No.
But we will give it a crack in no particular order. First leg, race 6. Number 15, Opal Ridge. Number 18, Benedetta. Number 17, Cythera. Number 10, Brudenell. Number 19, Running By. And number 12, Citizenship. So going quite wide in the first leg. In the second leg, trimming it up a little bit here. Number 1, Jacquinot. Number 2, Elliptical. Number 4, Mr. Maestro. Number 14, Attrition. In the third leg, we're going to go number 1, Tuvalu, number 4, Gentleman Roy, number 6, Pounding. And to finish the day, we're going to go number 1, Pinstriped, number 2, Cardinal Gem, number 7, The Jumbuck, and number 10, Life Lessons.
Beauty. Your best in value?
Yeah, on a pretty tricky day. My value bets is race 6, number 18, Benedetta. And my best bet comes up in race 5, number 4, Munamek.
Beautiful. I'm going to make my best 3-3 on the lead and my value in the same race 6, number 10, Brudenell. Before we get to Queensland, Beaver, you've got $100 to spend tomorrow. Got any plans for us? We got out with, if you don't ever think about it, I can waffle. We got out with, not on the lead, Hungry Heart. Hope in Your Heart got us in front last week.
So you've put me on the hop here because I completely forgot about that.
That's all right.
But that's all good.
Yeah, got something.
I'm just gonna let rip here.
Alrighty.
Race 2, number 2, Red Resistance.
Yep.
All on to race 3, number 1, Learning to Fly.
Yep.
And then to wrap that up, all on to race 9, number 2, Roots.
Beautiful. That is currently around the trebles, giving us around $6.50 for that. So there you go. Take that. Sure, you
money in the bank
around
money in the bank.
Gets us up and going. Got it in Queensland.
You'll be all love and Beaver after that one.
All right, sounds good.
Yep. Queensland, I've got some winners here for us too, Daggy.
Yep.
Race 3, number 1, Tabby Time. Really like it. Think it'll be winning.
Yep.
Race 4, number 8, Mashani Royale. It's going to be super hard to beat. Race 7, number 11, Bitcoin Baby, around the $6 mark. I think you might get on the winner there. And then finishing off race 8, number 6, The Big Goodbye.
Lovely. Just on Bitcoin Baby, it reminded me, good to see Ben Thompson ride his first Group 1 winner last week. He's a good, solid tradesman. I'm happy to back in Queensland. No issues backing Benny Thompson at all. So congrats to him and Uncommon James, who we both managed to jump off. So that was good.
I didn't jump off. I did say it was the main danger, and the Beaver did back it. Mind you.
Beaver. Well done.
Yes.
Yeah, my horse is still running.
Hopefully
to living legends to not be seen ever again.
Yes.
Anyway, that's it. Let's finish on that happy note. Take care, punters. Good luck this weekend. Big betting card. Looking forward to it. We'll be back for a midweek preview Wednesday morning. See you guys.